And we got some rapid fire news for your Sunday. This is going to go real quick. The reason why we're going to this format is we're getting close to the holiday season, so I'm going to have going to be stretched for time in order to do videos. So instead of cutting them up and doing individual videos, I am going to go uh, rapid fire for the next few Sundays. It's not a permanent thing, but with Thanksgiving and the holiday season coming up, plus I'm working basically 60 hours a week, and we're getting, I'm gonna get like 5 checks this month and next month. So I'm just trying to knuckle under and save and do what I can, build up a little nest egg for Black Friday because I'm thinking Black Friday is going to be very interesting. Why? This is from Tech Power Up, and there are sorting that they are citing rather they are citing this report that they're getting from benchlife.info that's claiming that the higher core counts of the 9950X3D and the 9900X3D will implement the 3D V-cache on both CCD chiplets, giving these processors an impressive 192 megabytes of L3 cache. That's 96 per CCD. 96 megabytes per CCD. You might as well just call these processors epic and be done and over with. These are like server class stuff, especially with all the cache on them. And then you get 208 megabytes or 204 megabytes of total cache when you combine the L2 and the L3. The report also says that AMD is planning a Ryzen 5 9600 X3D, its second attempt at taking on Intel's Core i5 lineup, following its very recent release of the 7600 X3D, which ended up between 1 and 3% short of the Core i5 14600K in gaming workloads. So this is just a rumor so far. Where it's they're citing BenchLife info, but there's no official word, of course. So we're not going to get an official word until it happens. There's no word on whether the 9600 X3D will launch in October alongside the 9800 X3D or in quarter one with the rest of the 9000 X3D series. Um, Paul's Hardware mentioned Paul at Paul's Hardware kind of uh, downplayed the situation. Paul doesn't think that it's going to happen, but I kind of commented in his video that it'll be by Black Friday. So in a sense, if they do a paper launch on Halloween, but say the chips are going to be available soon, like in the next couple of days, we're both right. You never know with AMD. But I do have a feeling that they're going to want to capitalize on Black Friday by having a new processor and letting some of these e-tailers like Newegg and Micro Center and Amazon and whatnot, they want to be able to let them combine and combo and create kits, or not kits, but bundles of the new X870 motherboards with new processors, 9000 series processors. So I think that's what's going to happen. And speaking of processors, WCC Eptech is reporting that Intel's 14th and 13th gen CPU instability issues are now solved as the X 0x12B as the final mitigation. That's an offset. uh, X offset 12B. I guess that's how you would really read that as. Article goes on to say that the microcode has the final mitigation for the instability issues affecting both the 13th and 14th gen. Intel has finally offered a new statement regarding these stability issues and stated that will be a relief for users running these chips. According to the chip maker, the newly released microcode patch, which is now being rolled out by motherboard vendors as a BIOS update, is the final mitigation against these instability and voltage issues. And Intel spokesperson Thomas Hannaford tells The Verge, quote, "Yes, we're confirming this is the cause and that it is fixed." And They were able to narrow down the root cause of all these excessive and elevated voltage levels. The microcode patch was announced last month on the 25th of September and marks the end of the woes that have been affected the 13th and 14th gen CPUs since their release. The root cause can now be confirmed as the elevated voltages, besides a range of other issues that were discovered by Intel, such as ETVB bugs and unstable power profiles used by motherboard manufacturers. What we got here is this is a nice timeline of events. This link will be in the description because they talk to, they even cite Gamers Nexus highlighting the oxidation effect, which was a fantastic video by Steve's part. But as this article says, this BIOS, the new BIOS with this OX12B microcode patch, will solve all the problems regarding the mess that Intel has been having lately. And that also means that now Paul's Hardware, as I mentioned, and Jay's Two Cents, and a lot of our favorite review sites, Hardware Unboxed, can now slowly start bringing back their Intel coverage because some of them, Gamers Nexus, they pretty much embargoed Intel while this mess was going on. So I think slowly, within the next couple of weeks, they'll be brought back to the foray. But now let's get to some briefly sad news. This is an obituary that's coming from game developer. Shukuo Isikawa, ex-Bandai-Namco president, has passed away at the age of 69. During his tenure, Isikawa created the 1988 arcade game Gator Panic and helped the company recover from its financial struggles in the late 2000s. He was 69 years old and passed away on September 9th. Per Oricon News, the developer released a statement explaining it chose to wait until after his private funeral to reveal his passing. We are deeply grateful for the support and kindness shown to him during his lifetime, wrote Bandai Namco. The wake and funeral were held privately with close relatives, and we kindly decline any floral tributes, offerings, condolences, or visits. Born April 15th, 1955, Isikawa joined Namco pre the Bandai merger in '78. He worked several positions as a developer, including managing director for research and production. In 1988, he created the arcade game Gator Panic. At Namco, he served as an executive producer in several games, including the original Soul Calibur, Xenosaga Episodes 1 and 3, and multiple Tales titles. What a man. And we're sorry for his loss. And speaking of losses, this sucks. And if you capitalized on this, good for you. Because Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition has been removed from Steam and has been scrapped completely to make room for the remaster, which now will require a PSN account. Blah. It's a good thing. It is a good thing that I bought this like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Before this all come about, I saw Horizon Zero Dawn Complete on Steam for $22, I think it was, or something like that. So I snagged it. I needed something to really put Edna through its paces. I wanted to see what Edna can do with this 7900 GRE. So that's why I bought it. And it looks like it was a good thing to do because the article says that it was already ported to PC before they announced the remaster. And now Sony has created the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster that requires players to create a PSN account to be able to play the game. This has been a huge controversial move by Sony as it lands them in hot water with players every single time a PlayStation game gets ported to PC and requires a PSN account. Last Friday, the original Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition was delisted on Steam and the Epic Game Store to make room and make way for the remaster. It seems those who don't own the game will now be forced to buy the remaster instead of the original PC port. Like I said, if you capitalized on this sooner rather than later, you're good to go. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition was previously available in countries where Steam could be accessed, while the Steam page for the Complete Edition is still live. People are no longer able to purchase the game itself. Instead, Steam users are prompted to either pre-order the remaster or the Horizon Forbidden West. Previously, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition was available straight after the remaster was announced, but then PlayStation done some shady shit. Quite frankly, they quietly raised the price of the original to replicate its starting price when the game was first released. So it went from $29.99 to $49.99 on the PlayStation Store. In the 6 years the game was available in the store, this was the first time the game experienced a price bump, with the game going on sale frequently and the price dropping to a fixed rate of $29.99 in the past. When the game goes on sale, it's less than $20. It's like 12 or 15. It's insane. Pulling the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition is a risky choice made by Sony, as it will make it more difficult for customers to be able to play the game depending on what country they're in. The remastered release will be out October 31st, but we require a PSN account. I'm going to have to, well, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to launch the Steam version that I bought to make sure it still works. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to be upset. Really upset. That means we don't, well, we already know that. We already know we don't own the games we have. We only own the license. I love that excuse, don't you? You don't own a General Motors or a Tesla. You only own the license to drive one. Man, the stuff they get away with. And finally, today, in this rapid fire news briefing here, it looks like Ubisoft is getting a sort of a bailout, or going to get saved from themselves. Tencent and the Guillemot family. Is that how you pronounce that? Guillemot, or is it Guillemot? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and say Guillemot for the sake of this video. They're planning a buyout of Ubisoft. In a new report, and this is again from WCCF Tech, in a new report today from Bloomberg via Game Industry Biz, it's alleged that Tencent and the Guillemot family are reportedly planning on buying out Ubisoft. This comes after Ubisoft has repeatedly landed itself in hot water, not just with gamers, but with shareholders. Shareholders have been urging them to restructure the company for a long time now, but there has been no news from Ubisoft as to whether they're going to do that. Looks like now they have no choice to do that. We got some hostile takeover stuff going on. Now Tencent and Guillemot Brothers Limited have been looking into ways to stabilize the company. With how badly Ubisoft is doing, it's possible that the companies will team up to buy out the publisher and take it private, which is exactly what needs to be done, quite frankly. Sources that are close to the matter at hand spoke to Bloomberg, saying that the companies have spoken to advisors about how they can proceed with buying the company outright. However, the talks are in the early stages, so there's no guarantee that this will lead to a buyout of Ubisoft. Then this news comes after AJ Investments called for Ubisoft to go private, as the share price dropped to the lowest they've ever been after the release of Star Wars Outlaws. At the moment, Ubisoft's market capitalization is at a total of $1.5 billion, with shares dropping to a total of 54% so far this year. The prices of the shares even dropped to a 10-year low, as the company saw, quote, softer than expected, unquote, sales of Star Wars Outlaws, with the director even expressing their disappointment in the game's overall reception. Guillemot Brothers Limited is a family-run company where some of the members of the family are responsible for the founding of Ubisoft, including CEO Yves Guillemot. That's either Yves or Ives. But sometimes it could be just plain Ive, but no S. You don't pronounce it. That's a tricky thing. Some of these names are kind of rough. GBL holds 20% of the publisher's voting rights, with Tencent holding just 9.2% of the rights. In 2022, Tencent increased its stake in GBL, which in turn increased its investment in Ubisoft. Of course, now Bloomberg did try to reach out to Ubisoft, GBL, and Tencent for comment, but they declined to respond, as always. So, yeah, it looks like looks like some interesting dealings going on. And this is a company that really, really needs it. Anyway, um, if you like what you see, subscribe, hit the like, ring the bell to Gonzo Media. We will see you in the next one.